All right. Hello, everybody. Hello and welcome. Welcome to day two. We are here, of course, for our 3-day challenge. And so today, the 3-day challenge, for those of you that are just joining us today, want to give you a big warm welcome. Really happy to have you. And we are here, of course, for the Sales Funnel Secrets for Health Pros Create Passive and Leveraged Income Now Challenge. All right. So we're going to be starting here in just a moment. We've got people joining the call, and I'm going to enlarge my screen here so that I can see all of your faces. So good to see you guys. Really, really good to see everybody. All right, guys. So just as a quick reminder, you guys remember that let's see, here we go. All right, so we've got a lot going on this week, right? So yesterday, which was day one, was all about designing your profit pyramid levels, the strategic funnel, from first experience to paying clients. And we also talked through my 7-step revenue roadmap to achieving multiple streams of revenue. Okay. Today, which is day two, is all about using the course matrix tool for creating your programs. So we're going to take a deep dive today into some of the elements, some of the decision points that you need to consider when creating your program, whether it be a course, an online course, a group program, like anything in the middle part of that profit pyramid, right? So, I'm going to be talking through to help you make some of those preliminary decisions. And we're also going to be talking through pivotal considerations for course design and structure. Okay, so we've got lots of stuff coming your way today. And then don't forget, day 3, which is tomorrow, Thursday, is all about what I call funnel deal breakers and critical must-dos for successful launches. All right, so lots of strategy this week, and even some decision making, which is going to be super important, especially for everyone here that intends to actually take what you learn and implement, right? And yesterday, we also touched briefly on the fact that some of you in this group, are going to be really big action takers, and you're going to want to take what you learn to that next level in order to help you to actually implement, to create those multiple streams of revenue inside of your business. So some of you may recall, I shared a little bit about my brand new, completely updated course called Lucrative Course Blueprint version 2.0 that will hold your hand through every step, every decision point, through creating, marketing, and selling your next or your first group program, online course, or even a membership. So anywhere in that profit pyramid, in those middle sections that you want to focus in order to actually bring your product, your program, your course, your membership, whatever it is that you want to focus on, to fruition. And as I mentioned, it's completely updated. We added a lot of new content into this version. And we also decided to add 3 Q&A calls. So it's 6 modules of really awesome content, over 40 templates, handouts, scripts, even email samples. And in addition to those 6 modules, you get 3 90-minute Q&A calls to get your questions answered. And really the idea is to give you the support, because some of the decisions that you're going to want to make, honestly, it's just so much easier to talk it out, having been there myself. So we decided to add 3 90-minute group coaching sessions with me, including a tech support opportunity as well. All right, guys. So I'll talk a little bit more about that, but just want to remind you that the early bird level of investment is only $797. Or you can do 3 installments of $297. Guys, it is a really killer deal. If you compare everything on the market that has anything to do with course creation, you're not going to find anything at all below 1,000. I can promise you that. All right. So, oh, and the other thing I did want to mention is that this is the first time in 2 years that I've offered it live. Okay. So it is all live. The only exception is some of the bonus workshops are pre-recorded, but in terms of the classes, 100% live. So 6 live modules, and of course the Q&A and laser coaching is live. And I'm not sure when I'll be offering it live again. So if you're at all inclined to really be an action taker, I would recommend that you jump in and go to lucrativecourseblueprint.com. All right, so what I want to do is a little bit of a check-in. How did it go with your homework yesterday? Remember yesterday, the homework was to be thinking about which level in the profit pyramid that you want to focus on, which course or program you would like to offer first. Because remember, we talked about the fact that you really can't do everything at once. We need to decide what is the next best step for me in my business, right? And then we looked at some funnel examples. And so the idea was for you to not only think about, you know, the level in the profit pyramid that you would like to focus on as a next step, what kind of course you'd like to offer, but also be thinking about, you know, what might be a quick freebie. Remember, we talked about the revenue roadmap where we and those funnel descriptions, right? Where we looked at like all the different options. And believe me, there's more options than that. It's really endless, but I gave you a bunch of examples of what your sales funnel might look like. And guys, remember, don't get tripped up by the language sales funnel. You're in sales funnels like quite like all the time. They're so common. Remember yesterday I said even coupons, right? Like, you know, when you used to cut coupons out. I remember watching my mom do that. And that is a sales funnel because it leads the paying customer to, it leads them to that endpoint, right? Of going to the store and buying that product. And so sales funnels they can be super simple. They can look like, you know, super duper simple, where you've got like a freebie that, you know, like you have on your website, maybe just an opt-in for a free download. That's a super simple sales funnel, right? You're getting people on your email list, which gives you the chance to nurture and warm them up. And then maybe later you're going to invite them into something paid, right? So that's a super simple sales funnel. And frankly, a great place to start. So, so you want to be making some of these decisions. What is your quick freebie, right? So yesterday we talked about how quite often you're going to have like a really quick and easy freebie, like a checklist or an ebook or something like that. And this is in front of releasing your paid group program, right? Or a course. So quite often, like when I do my launches, I will have a special ebook that I release, right? Because it generates excitement and I'm providing tons and tons of free value. And then the ebook might lead to a webinar, right? Where I'm piling on more value. And then on the webinar, I describe the next step, which is the paid program, right? Now there's lots of steps in between. So it's important to remember that. And that's the stuff that we really roll up our sleeves and get into the nitty gritty in Lucrative Course Blueprint, like all the in-between steps. But for now, I just want you to make some of those big picture preliminary decisions, okay? Now, we talked yesterday about the importance of the know, like, and trust factor. And I just want to really get clear on this because this is a process through which your client eventually meets you or finds you. and then gets to know and really gets to know you, kind of gets a sense of your brilliance and how valuable your material is, and then is offered that perfect opportunity to purchase something from you, right? And generally speaking, at that point, they, generally I would say they're ready to buy at that point. Not everybody, but a nice proportion of your population, right, should, be warmed up and hopefully ready to buy if you've done things right. So they already trust you because of their previous exposure to you. And this is why you have to, this is the key takeaway, guys. You really need to invest time warming up your audience before you ask them to buy, because too many people out there expect others to buy from them cold. Okay. And that's just not how it works. People have to trust that you've got the goods, that, that what they've already seen from you is so powerful and helpful that a deeper dive would even be more awesome. Now, I got to say, it's super intriguing to me. I even see some of my own colleagues not doing this well. It's fascinating to me. I see it all the time where they just start sending emails out about their, $1,000 paid course or more. And they haven't done anything to lead up. They don't even send newsletters. And I'm like, oh my goodness, how is that working for you? Probably not very well, right? You have to give value first. Okay. Value first, develop the relationship. And then it's almost like you've earned the right to ask people into the next step. Okay. So really important. We talked about the profit pyramid. I'm not going to spend a ton of time there, but just to remind you that we outline the different types and levels of services that you can offer. And we really are focusing on our energy in the middle, right? Those middle sections, because those are your opportunities to leverage. Generally, they take less of your time. And you're serving more people. So that is where we are focused in this week's training. And then, of course, we went through all those different sales funnel examples. And again, the key takeaway here is those sales funnels develop the relationship, show value, and lead someone down the path towards a buying decision. Okay. So that is really the important thing. So, we talked about some examples. You could say, maybe offer a workbook or a checklist, a checkbook. Sure. You could offer a workbook or a checklist, and from there, invite people into a deeper experience, like the 60-minute webinar. And then you can make that just so valuable and chock full of information and content that they go, wow, this was so great. I think I really want to take the next step with this person, right? So example, my client, Martha, we touched on her yesterday, who sold 28 spots into a program just like this. It was a 6-week webinar series at a price point of $347. This was her first time out of the gate with launching a program. So she did a little webinar. She didn't do the freebie up front. She just did a webinar, and then she offered her paid course and promoted it. And she ended up getting 28 people in, and she made $9,700. So not a bad payday at all. And the other thing that's really important to remember is many times those people want to continue with you, right? So they do the 6-week course, and then they're like, oh my gosh, now I really realize that I need help, and I realize how much I love this person. I'm going to keep going. And that always happens. Even when I had my nutrition practice, guys, I'd always end up getting at least a handful of private clients in, my 3 or 4 month programs. All right. So, all right. So that is a little bit of a review on yesterday's stuff. So what I want to do next is, let's see, I'm going to do a screen share. Actually, you know what I'm going to do is just look at the chat real quick. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Adrian, it's hard to decide between level C and D. Yeah. Yeah, it can be. I would say that, most people, okay, one way to look at it is obviously the lower on the pyramid you go, the lower the price, right? So I would just say that from a strategic standpoint, I think you can do really well with all the different levels, but the strategy is different, right? Because like in the low level, the level D, you're looking at a pretty low price, right? So, you got to take that into consideration. So the idea with a super low cost item would be, ideally it would sell itself, right? Like you don't want to be investing time on the phone with people because, obviously that's just not a good use of your time. So it needs to kind of sell on its own. You can have it on your website. You can do little launches, right? To get people in. The idea, at least from my perspective, with the lower levels, like the $47 kind of products, is that it provides value and it leads people to a next step, right? Because you got to sell a lot of $47 products to pay the mortgage, right? So you want to be thinking, what is the strategy? What is the end game? What is it that you're really wanting to achieve? And so, there's a lot of different ways to look at it. I would just say in general, my clients tend to do like the 6 to 8 week webinar, usually like right in the middle as a first step. It doesn't mean it has to be you. Okay. It really doesn't. But it just kind of seems like that's the trend. And then I think I mentioned yesterday, I have a lot of clients that are really successful with level B as well. Okay. Which is super interesting because it's still kind of high price. I will say level B will typically require a discovery call to enroll people. Okay. So anyway, just a reminder that I will help you make all those decisions inside a Lucrative Course Blueprint, right? Like all of the stuff. You're going to decide on the topic for your freebie. You're going to get detailed instructions, even on how to name your webinar, because that's super important to make it compelling. How to, what's the language you use in a webinar? How do you structure a webinar to get sales and to get people to actually show up? I'm also going to help you to grow your audience so that you can get more eyeballs on your promotion, your emails, and your sales page. And just a reminder, when I say the word sales page, just don't let the tech part hold you back, right? Because I'm going to be sharing like the simplest, easiest ways to get you to where you need to be, and on a shoestring, right? In terms of budget. All right. So what I want to do now, I'll be checking the questions again in a little bit, but let's jump into what we've got to cover today because we've got lots of stuff in the docket. Okay, so I am going to share my screen and let's see, course matrix. So we're going to go through this course matrix together. Okay, so if you can grab the PDF or you can just follow along, that is fine too. All right, just clearing off my screen so I can see the PDF myself. All right, so now that you understand the concept of your profit pyramid for multiple streams of income, there's something to remember, right? And that is that each particular program, package, or offer you make at any of those middle levels in your pyramid is usually, it is you need to make decisions in terms of some different elements that are going to go inside of the program. So it's a little bit different as compared to decisions you need to make for levels A and E, because levels A and E, like obviously E is free. It's not really a funnel, right? You don't have to really make those decisions. And we're kind of putting level A on the back burner for now. We're really focused on those leveraged offers because I know so many of you are getting kind of burnt out on doing one-on-one exclusively, right? And it can be exhausting. So I really, again, my goal is to really help you guys to be able to, serve more people, make a bigger impact, and just honestly, to be able to increase your revenue as well. We don't want to be 100% reliant on one revenue stream. It's not a healthy business, quite frankly. So, all right, so let's take a look at the course matrix. And basically, you can see going across here in this chart that you've got 5 decision points that you're going to need to make for your course. Okay. So you've got 5 decision points, and that includes length. Okay. So what is going to be the duration of your offer? How are you going to deliver it? Okay. How are you going to deliver it? What, I really am a fan of trying to forecast what is like an ideal number of people. I really want to encourage you to set goals for attendance because, if you don't, you're just going to kind of get whatever, right? Something about really setting goals puts it into motion. So I really want to advocate, instead of saying, oh, I'll just take whatever I can get, get out your calculator and figure out, I would frankly estimate, what are my costs associated with doing the launch? If you've got external costs, if you're going to pay a virtual assistant, or maybe you're going to do it all yourself. But you want to just estimate what is that break-even point, right? And then anything above and beyond that, you're in the black, right? So you want to consider your costs and how many people at what price point do you need to achieve in order to break even, okay? And move into the profit zone. So you want to consider the length, delivery mode, number of people, what is going to be your price point, and then what are the different features you're going to add into your program. So let's talk through some of these decisions. So we have the length of the program. Okay. So a shorter program might be like a 6-week webinar. Honestly, guys, I've had people do 3 weeks, like a 21-day. And by the way, a 21-day kind of like a detox or a clean eating 21-day type of program, I think that's a really good one. Someone was asking yesterday, and I was thinking more about it today. I forgot who it was that was asking, what would be another example of a good low cost program in that level D. And I do know of a client that did really, really well with like a 21-day or a 3-week, I think it was like a clean eating or a detox of some sort. And she ended up doing really well with that. And that would fit into a level, that level D. So, low cost. I'm looking to see if I have her data handy. I don't think I do. I know it's on the sales page though. All right. So anyway, so that would be another good example. So it could be 3 weeks. It could be, I've seen lots of people do well with 4 weeks. 6 weeks is very common. I'd say 8 weeks, maybe a little less common, but still really doable. You just want to think about, your content, and just, how long is it going to take for people to actually get a result? right? You do want to consider that as well. Now, note that you're not looking for the perfect, endpoint in all cases, right? Like I'm sure most of us would say, well, to really nail the result, like 6 months would be nice, right? Or a year would be great. But obviously, for a group program, well, let me just say, it's not a good starting point, right? Like you don't want to go out of the gate with a year-long program. I think that's kind of setting yourself up. So I would go shorter. And I would really recommend that you do simple. Go for simple first, right? Especially if you're just dipping your toe into this world. Really try to go simple. I know a lot of times, just the way we're wired, we collectively as practitioners and coaches, we really want to over deliver. We want to just pile it on, right? And you just want to be cognizant that you don't want to overwhelm people. Okay. So just be kind of cognizant of that. And you don't have to do like this giant course. Just to give you an example. So in what I do now in, business coaching and consulting, my first course was a 6-week course. Okay. And it was awesome. I still have it. It's a course on how to have a really effective discovery call and how to, really move people through the sale in that one-on-one conversation. And it's called Consultations That Convert. Okay. So, so that's where I started in this business. So I had a 6-week course. I think it was 5 modules plus 1 Q&A. So a total of 6 weeks, and the early bird price was $497. Okay. It included a ton of handouts and scripts and templates and support material. People could download the recordings. And so they had everything, for their resource library if they wanted to make reference to it later. Gosh. Yeah. And so do you see how I took a piece of what I do and created a course out of it, right? So I would say I took a piece of, I have 5 big pillars that I, focus on, with sales being only one of them. So I took one part of what I do and created a course on it. In contrast, later, right? Later, when I was like, wow, I really need to figure out an alternative way to deliver my private services, right? Because the good problem to have, the demand was getting almost too high for me to deliver, right? That's when I decided to do what I would call a signature course, right? It's a 6-month experience. And let me tell you, that is a much bigger undertaking. So don't do that out of the gate. That's my recommendation. Just pick a sliver of what you do. Just make it easy on yourself. So I hope that helps. So you want to think about the length of your program. Just think about what that's going to look like. And then what are the methods of delivery for your program? Are you going to do Zoom? I would say a lot of people really are very accustomed to Zoom classes now. And I do think that people appreciate, being able to see each other for the most part. So that would be my recommendation for a mode of delivery. And, there's other ways too, though, right? You could do like in-person retreat. You could even do an online retreat. I am seeing more and more of that now, where it's like a working, like, where you spend like 5 hours actually doing the work together, even in a group. So that's a possibility. Again, you want to identify how many people, what is your target? What are you hoping to enroll in this program? How many people ideally would you like in this program? Or, is it going to be capped? Is it going to be a program where you're offering limited access, right? And guys, I would just say in generally speaking, when you're capping the number of people to enhance the experience within the group, generally I would say that's a higher ticket offer, right? You're looking for quality over quantity, and, people that are going to make a nice contribution to the group and things like that, right? So be thinking about, what you want that to look like. Do you want it to have a cap? Do you want to not? Do you want to just have it open? Certainly your lower cost products, absolutely, there's no cap, right? You want to sell as many of those things as you possibly can. But your higher end programs, I have a client right now, she's doing her first launch, and she is doing 4 weeks. So it's 4 weeks for her. And I think she ended up going with $497 for the price. Okay. Maybe $397 was the early bird, but that's 4 weeks. And since this is her first time, her very first launch, first time delivering the program, she decided to cap it. Okay. So she was really like, I really want to get good testimonials. I want the experience to be amazing. And plus the subject matter is, I guess, a little bit more intimate, right? She's really helping people through like, more like disordered eating and mindful eating strategies. So that was her decision. And when you cap it, like, you really can promote that as a benefit. Like, we're going to have a nice group. Everyone's going to get personalized attention, and it's much easier to deliver on that promise when, you've got a cap in terms of enrollment. Okay. So again, cost, consider the cost. I give you some points of reference here on this handout. Like I said, I would just say, like, more often than not, I see the 6-week live webinar type of model, variable price, but I'd say $397 is super common, especially the first time. The longer it goes, with the more elements that you're adding, the price obviously is going to go up. You could even do like a 30-day, some kind of a morning telecall kind of motivational sort of program where you get lots of people and charge a low price of like $47. And maybe you're going to include like a daily email kind of a thing, right? So I give you lots of different examples. Here's the 1-day intensive, like the live workshop model, which I think is coming back. I'm seeing more of that, and I'm kind of liking it. And frankly, thinking about doing something like that in my own business, maybe like I'm sort of thinking like maybe like a 3-hour workshop of some sort. I think that would be really fun. And then, guys, there's the ongoing membership program idea. Okay. So this is a super interesting one, and one that I'm seeing more and more people delve into. Okay. So in a membership program, it's generally low cost. Okay. Generally speaking, I mean, I see a lot of them at like $27 a month. One of my clients, the autism dietitian, she started a membership called the Autism Library. And I don't think it included any live elements. It was more informational, right? And when she first started, it was really low cost. It was like only $15 a month, right? So, which is super low. I think she's since raised it, but there's a lot of cool things that you can do with memberships. I have a client right now, her name is Kylie, and she's been doing this work for a while. We've been working together for quite a while. She specializes in gut health, and she's got lots and lots of private clients in these, programs and packages, quite high end. So she is doing a membership, and she's specifically targeting clients that she's already worked with. Okay. So this would be an example of a downsell. Do you guys remember yesterday we talked about upsells, cross sells, and downsells? So she wants to create something that is a good downsell after her clients go through her intensive program. So what she's doing is she is going to have 2 monthly live sessions each, so two per month. She was going to do it every week. And just yesterday, I was like, don't do it every week. Don't do anything every week, because it's just too much. You'll never be able to go on vacation. So we decided to do 2 live sessions per month. She's going to have a couple of like little mini courses in the membership. So the people will get access to that, 2 live sessions a month. She's giving them a really good deal if they sign up for 6 months, which I do recommend. She's giving people a founding members discount. So the intention is if you sign up like within a 30-day window, you're going to get a special price and you're going to be like the founding members, right? Which is kind of cool for people. Now, interestingly, her price point for this is higher. It's like, and I forgot. It does include a 25-minute private session each month for people. So that drives up the price, right? So in her case, her founding member price is going to be $197 a month. Okay. So it's higher end, but it's people that she's already worked with, so they already love her, right? And they want to stay in contact, but they just don't need, maybe they just don't need the private sessions anymore, okay? And she's incentivizing them to pay up front, which is another really good idea. So do you guys kind of get a sense of like, I just want you to get a sense of the options and what they might look like, but I don't want you to get overwhelmed. Okay. So if you're overwhelmed, here's what I would do. If I were in, just starting out, I think I would probably do a 4-week course. Okay. A live course. I think it would be, like a live 4-week webinar series, maybe priced around this amount, maybe since it's 4 weeks, maybe a teeny bit less. And just know that you can always raise your price later, right? Like the idea would be just to get people in, get some testimonials, get your feet wet. And then you can always adjust and move forward later. Okay, guys, does that make sense to everybody? And in terms of additional features, you just really want to think about like, what are some additional handouts and, recordings? What can you add to the mix to increase the value? Okay. So you're really looking for, you're just looking for ways to increase the value. And one thing that you might do, this is kind of a little, it's just something that came to my mind that I want to share with you. So think about what might be some of their objections. Okay. Like what might be some of their objections? And sometimes you can kind of overcome that with, how you create the program. So just as an example, like what if someone's like, well, I don't have time to come live, right? Like I'm going on vacation. I do it, but I can't show up live. I'm going to be in Tahiti. I don't know what kind of internet I'm going to have in Tahiti, right? So just kind of brainstorming like what might be some of the objections that people have. What you can do is in your course, you can say, okay, no problem. I recognize that some people might have this withhold, right, or objection. So I'm going to include transcripts, right? Or I'm going to include the MP3, just the recording, so they don't even need internet to listen. They can just download the MP3, the recording, and walk along the beach and listen, right? So sometimes that can help if you just kind of put yourself in their position and just, think about what would really add value if you were your own client, right? All right. So So be thinking through that. Now, what I want to do, let's go through some of these other pivotal considerations for program design and structure, and then we'll do some Q&A. All right, so there are three popular but differing structures in terms of how to offer your program. Okay, so I just want to briefly touch on this. Again, I don't aim to confuse. I don't want to confuse, but I want you to see kind of the big picture, and then you can make better decisions. Okay, so these are the structures. Now, before I dig into this, I do want to tell you, I really recommend, I know it's super tempting to say, okay, I'm going to pre-record my content, right? And it's just going to be like an evergreen kind of a thing. I'm going to recommend that you do it live, okay? At least maybe the first 1 or 2 times, especially if you're just dipping your toe in. It's just a really good idea. So as I go through this, just keep in mind that it usually works out better if you do it live at least 1 time. Okay. Because for a lot of reasons that I'll get into. All right. So the structures would be a live launch with like open, closed enrollment. So what does that mean? It means it starts on a certain date. So Lucrative Launch Blueprint is a live program. It starts on a specific date, which PS is the 17th of May. Okay. 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. Had to decide that in advance. Everyone starts together. I might repeat it through the year, possibly. Generally, I don't. That's just me though. I don't tend to launch the same thing more than once a year, but you certainly could. Often delivered live or in combination with some pre-recorded content. So in my case, for Lucrative Course Blueprint, it's 100% live in terms of the modules and the Q&A. I've got a few bonuses that are pre-recorded, but that's it. And then, you might have referral partners that help you promote. Like that's a whole topic we get into Lucrative Course Blueprint, like how to approach people and, what to say and how to motivate them to help you out in promoting. But really the takeaway here is that referral partners promote within a certain window. Okay. So just as an example, healing from leaky gut. Maybe you did a course on that. It would be a live 8-week program, hypothetically, starting on a certain date. Everyone starts and ends together and uses a live launch method to actually sell and enroll people into the program. Okay. Now, there's a few considerations. You definitely want to be cognizant. I always recommend early bird savings. Okay. So again, using mine as an example, my Lucrative Course Blueprint 2.0, the full investment is $12.97. Okay. But I'm giving you a really nice savings if you decide to step in and you do it before the 15th of May. Okay. So then the investment goes down to $7.97. And typically what happens, we all like to save money, right? Like I totally could charge $12.97. I 100% positive, but I want to make it an easy decision. And I know that people like to save some money. So I know I do. So it really kind of helps people to like say, okay, I got to either do this or not, right? Because a lot of times we're procrastinators. So I do really want to encourage you to do some kind of early bird pricing. It definitely adds some urgency. And then what we call bonus stacking is another strategy that's super effective. And that is, as we move forward in the launch sequence, we can add an additional bonus here and there, and it just adds a degree of excitement. because, you can email your list and say, hey, everybody, guess what? I decided to add this really cool such and such bonus. It's valued at, $300. Everybody gets it, right? And it's just really fun to do that. All right. Let's just talk briefly about Evergreen. Again, my recommendation is save Evergreen for later. But big picture is Evergreen, an Evergreen program. Generally speaking, you're doing the work up front because you're pre-recording content. You generally speaking, you can join anytime, right? So like, let's say you did an Evergreen, I don't know, like an Evergreen 4-week little course, or let's say three module mini course, and you're only charging like $97. Okay. It would be on your website. You could do a launch, and I highly recommend you do the whole launch sequence, because the chance of people just happening to see it is pretty small, guys. So I wouldn't put a whole bunch of work into creating this amazing module, even a 3-module course, without putting a little bit of marketing muscle behind it, honestly, because it'll be really disappointing results. I've seen that happen before. You got to put some muscle behind it to get people in. Okay. But it is generally passive. You can have like little sales funnels set up. Again, we go into all that detail inside of my course. But, so the example I have on the sheet is you would take that same course, that 8-week Healing from Leaky Gut. People can sign up anytime. So it's a rolling admission. And generally, it would be fully automated sales process, right? But that being said, you could open and close enrollment like certain times of the year if you wanted to build up some urgency. So that's an idea too. So you guys can go through some of this. You can still use early bird incentives. In a perfect scenario, once you've got your Evergreen course and your funnel functioning really well, the beauty is that you can just set it up and then kind of, it's running in the background, right? Your sales funnels, like maybe you're running ads to a freebie in Facebook. And then after they opt in for the ad or for the freebie, they get an email saying, okay, and you could, do this course for like 97 or whatever your price point is for your Evergreen program. So like you could be running ads to direct traffic to your Evergreen course, which is something that I have done and continue to do. And it is, definitely a different approach. It takes experimentation and looking at the analytics and really looking at, where things are going well in the funnel and where are things kind of falling off the tracks, right? You really want to look at it like from a diagnostic perspective, right? Remove the emotion and just look at the numbers, and then you can make some decisions accordingly. So that's pretty cool. But guys, that's why I recommend you just do it live first. Because you can get a really nice spike in your income if you do it well. Okay. And then there's memberships. We talked a little bit about that. I'm seeing a lot more people doing memberships. I guess the thing that I would say about a membership program is that I think it can work really well. That being said, a lot of times people don't consider kind of the back end management of a membership program. You're always going to have people with questions about the tech. I lost the link. My link doesn't work, right? Like all kinds of things. So you just have to be aware of that. And with a membership, this is not on your handout, but you really want to think about like, how many people do I need to have in the program to, again, to break even, right? Considering the cost of someone maybe helping you manage it, because you're going to get a lot of questions because it's more of a volume thing, right? So, but I do think it's a good idea, and I think it can, I think it can work really, really well. So A membership is an option as well. And there's, pros and cons to all of these. The idea here is that you would just, make some decisions and decide, what direction do I want to go in, right? What seems like the best fit for me? So, what I want to do next, I want to quickly go through, speaking of courses, right? I just want to quickly go through, hopefully you guys can see this okay. Yes. All right. Awesome. It's working. All right, guys, I want to quickly just go through what I think is a really good next step for everybody who really wants to take this to the next level. Right. And so I just wanted to say how excited I am. I'm truly like over the moon excited about how this new version of Lucrative Course Blueprint has shaped up. Brand new content, how to create and sell profitable classes and products. And so you're going to walk away in this program, Lucrative Course Blueprint 2.0, not only with a finished course, like designed and ready to go, but a highly strategic marketing plan with the details and dates. And that is super important. By the way, guys, I'm just going to spend a few minutes on this, and then we're going to go to Q&A. So stay with me. All right. So in Lucrative Course Blueprint, you're going to learn a ton, and you're going to get the support to actually implement. And that is the key. That's why we added those 3 90-minute Q&A calls, so that you can implement all the strategies that I'm going to teach you, so that you'll end up with a blueprint to create, market, and deliver your course. So you can, at the end of the day, help exponentially more people and dramatically raise your income. Okay. Just a couple points that I want to make. It's entirely led by me. And so you get my personal mentorship. I do not have sub coaches. That is very, very common these days. So you get me. So I'm going to hold your hand during this course. So you're going to get 6 live skills and strategy classes delivered weekly, 3 live 2-hour Q&A coaching calls, basically every 2 weeks for personalized feedback. You're going to get downloadable, templates, handouts, all this galore. I would say more than 40 beautiful templates and handouts. Plus, you are going to get lots of bonus workshops, which we'll actually talk about in a second. So I want to give you just a quick overview on the module. So module 1 is all about, we're going to kick things off by learning how to make certain that you're designing a really awesome course that people are going to buy. That is really important. So I'm going to teach you how to do the market research, how to interview people, a handful of people, what questions to ask them to gather the information that you need to make a good decision. Okay. Here's just a listing of some of the handouts you're going to get, like tons and tons of really juicy handouts. Module 2 is all about advancing your knowledge of the critical keys of launch design in order to get that desired attendance and income that you want, right? Super, super important. You get a list of all the amazing handouts here, just tons and tons of detail in terms of how to actually get people into your funnel. Okay. And then we go to module 3 real quick. It's all about the task timelines, calendars, promotion, and your tech options demystified. It's probably the most common question that I get. So we are going to cover all of that in module 3. You're going to get steps of a launch sequence and different variations of that, a launch timeline chart. So like calendars to help you to plan your launch. So you're going to walk away crystal clear on exactly what needs to happen in your promotional calendar on, like how far apart things are. When do I release my freebie? How long do I wait before I do my webinar? How long between my webinar and my paid program? Like all of those things are going to be answered. We added a new piece and in this module we're going to share with you some tasks to potentially outsource. Okay, so we're going to cover a little bit about building your team. If you're in that place, what are some easy tasks that you can outsource if you desire? All right, so then we've got module 4, which is all about messaging, copywriting, and influential language for communications throughout your entire launch. And here you're going to get real promotional samples for each strategic moment in your launch. You're going to get tons and tons of samples. You'll get the exact persuasive language that you can easily adapt and use in your own launch. And guys, that alone, okay, I'd love to know how many of you have hired a copywriter. Let me just tell you, to write an email would cost probably equal to this course, one email. I'm not even kidding. So let me just tell you, that is worth the price of admission in of itself, just to have these sample emails. So here's some examples of all the amazing PDFs and support material that you're going to get. Like you get scripts, you get charts, sample social media posts. I know that's something new that we decided to add this year, because that's always a conundrum. Like, oh my God, what do I post on social media? So we're going to cover you there. Module 5 is all about the layout and the design for your opt-ins, your downloads, your sales page, social graphics, etc., plus key sales generating templates. So guys, we're really trying to make this so easy for you, really to break down every single part of getting this done, right? Not only creating your the content for your program and your course, but really helping you to fill it. That's really what this is about. I always say, I tell my clients this, guys, we need to kind of share, like spread the worry around. Usually people are way just worried about like the content of their course, and they spend like all their time worrying about like the slides and the content. My recommendation is spend 60% of your time concerning yourself with the marketing, and then maybe 40 to 50% of your time, worrying yourself about the content. We really need to put some, like I said, some more marketing muscle behind our efforts in order to fill our courses. Okay. So you get tons of support again. The thing that I'm really excited about is that you guys will get, again, you're going to get sample graphics for social media. Okay, that's a new thing we're adding. And we're going to help you to outline your upsell during the webinar. So I'm going to teach you how to sell from a webinar. Okay, that is super valuable. All right, and then finally, my module 6 is about facilitation skills. This can be a hindrance for people, right? Because they're afraid, well, what if I get a question, or what if I get like a difficult person in my class? And that's why I added this piece, how to, really how to manage a group. Group coaching is an art. So I'm going to teach you how to do that. And then we recently added the other elements here: post-course metrics, assessment. So how to, how to decide what went well and what didn't go so well. And then how do you move people into that next step? Okay, the upsell, downsell, and cross-sell. Okay, so we're going to help you with all that. You get tons and tons of great options. And then just really quick, some of the bonuses. All right, the wonderful Barb Wade is going to do a live workshop on how to banish fear and self-doubt. Beyond amazing. Okay, absolutely beyond amazing. You're going to get some direction from my very own Facebook ads person that I've known for many years. She helps me with all my ads in my business. She's going to talk about how to basically approach tech like get rid of the drama and stress around tech. So how to create and deliver a really awesome lead magnet, specifically using ConvertKit. This woman is flipping amazing. This is my friend Katya, and she is going to do a live bonus workshop about how to plan 30 days worth of viral content, attracting 30 days worth of viral content, a client attracting content in 1 hour. That was a mouthful. And she's amazing. You can look her up. And then my very own awesome Miss Rita, who is like my right hand, literally in my business. She is going to talk to you about visibility with content repurposing. So we want to get a lot of mileage out of our content. And then Kathy is going to do another bonus if you want to dip your toe into Facebook ads. So we've got a special on that. Oh my gosh. And I saved this one for last. This is Lisa Fraley, who is my attorney. She's awesome. She's like the expert on licensure. And so she's going to talk about what you need to know about state licensure laws while creating your group program. Guys, it's a ton of stuff, right? 18 CEUs for RDNs. We start May 17th. So we go 9 consecutive weeks starting the 17th. And so remember the entire, it should say 9-week program. It used to be 6, guys. It's 9 now. Is the full investment is $12.97. But remember the early bird, actually this should say, oopsie, that is actually $7.97. So the early bird is $7.97 because we have 9 modules now. And the first 15 registrants for the program are going to get a special bonus from me on how to create your own video show, right? Like whether it's on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, how to drum up new business through a live show. All right. So again, the full investment is $12.97. If you decide to jump in, do it by the 15th of May because the price will only be $7.97, or you can do 3 monthly installments of $2.97. Okay, guys. And don't forget, I have my tickled pink guarantee. Okay. So you can sign up risk-free. Okay. If you're not happy, I will refund you out of my own pocket. Okay. After the first 2, you can attend the first 2 sessions. And if you let me know before the 3rd session, I can, hopefully that won't happen, but it is there if you need it. All right, guys. So go to lucrativecourse-blueprint.com and save your spot. I want to see you there. I want you guys to actually implement this stuff we're talking about. Okay. All right. So now, guys, we're going to go to Q&A. Let's see here. I'm looking for my Q&A. Bear with me, guys. Let's see here. All right, here we go. All right, guys, we're going to do some Q&A. All right, so I think Tammy asked this yesterday, so I'm going to take Tammy first. I have a niche, but I don't know. I'm not sure how to create programs, et cetera, for my niche. Does your program help me figure out how to take what I do with my clients and create programs and master classes? Definitely. Okay. First of all, I don't know what your niche is specifically, but I am positive that whatever your niche is, we can take that area of expertise, bundle it up, and create a really killer course or group program. Okay. Absolutely. You don't have to be sure. You just don't. I'm going to help you in module 1, get really super clear. I'm going to teach you how to, like I said, do a little bit of market research, which is going to help you. I'm going to help you validate your idea in module 1. And I got to share with you, that's really how Lucrative Course Blueprint was born, in full transparency. Okay. I did a survey. I surveyed my audience because I was kind of thinking about doing it, but I was like, oh, but I don't know. And so I did a really good survey and I looked at the results, and the thing that it really did was it validated that I'm on the right track. Right. And that is worth the price of admission right there, being sure that you're onto something, because then it's just so motivating because you know you're creating something that people will buy. Right. Which is super cool. So Tammy, 100% will help you with that. Okay. We have a question here. This might be too specific of a question, but as someone who's an introvert, the thought of doing a live class in front of people really creates some anxiety. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, it's super interesting. Like, okay, so just FYI, I know I come across as an extrovert, but I just got to tell you, the first time I clicked the go live button, like on Facebook, it was really hard. It was super, super hard. Okay. It's one of those things that you just like, you get better at it, you get more comfortable. So I just want to say, I get it. I really do. I would say, for someone that is an introvert, probably what I would recommend is to dip your toe in and maybe do a pre-recorded kind of a thing. Like, like I think, because really I want you to get out of your own way and just get started. Okay. So I'll help you figure out what is the best solution, but maybe for you, it's a pre-recorded kind of a webinar, possibly. And does the course cover state licensure? Yes. So, well, what we're doing, and I'm super excited, is Lisa Fraley is, you're going to have access to a talk that she's going to do. And she's an attorney and she's an expert on crossing state lines with courses. The bottom line, well, I don't want to steal her thunder. So, but just to answer your question, like, she's an expert and she is going to help you to make those decisions. Okay. Alana. Hey, Alana. How many one-on-one clients would you say is good to have first, and what level of consistency before stepping into level B? I don't know if there's like a magic number in terms of doing that. Honestly, a level B. So one cool thing about level B is it doesn't necessarily even have to be a group. Okay. So I have a client who's in Texas, and she has a level B, and she ended up making, okay, so just a really quick overview on how she's doing it. So she decided to pre-record some modules. Okay, like, I don't know. She's got a really specific niche, Crohn's and colitis. So I think she ended up recording 12 super short weekly modules, really short. That's the key. And then when she first started offering this, so it was the 12 modules pre-recorded, X number of one-on-one sessions. I think she did like one a month or maybe two total. And then she did like a group Q&A. So regardless of how many people were signed up, she would show up. She called like basically office hours, right? So she just kind of hung out on Zoom. And if people show up, she answers their questions, that kind of thing. So I don't really think that you need a whole lot of consistency before you try a level B, in all honesty. So I would give it a whirl. I think it could be a really good way to go. All right, Robin, I need more understanding of a level C. Do you offer Q&A? And do you recommend investing in sponsored posts and ads on social media? Okay, so I usually don't recommend that you spend money right out of the gate on paid ads. And the reason is, all right, well, the first thing I do want to share, really specific, if you do ads, the only thing I would advertise is your free thing. Let me say that again, because I know it is probably shocking. Do not waste your money trying to get sales on Facebook ads, because it usually won't work. I'm just being really honest. But what can work is for you to get more people into your funnel through your freebie. Okay. So that's really where I would focus. If you're going to dip your toe into ads, don't try to sell your paid program via ads, because it just probably won't work, because the people don't know you yet, right? You need to bring them into your funnel earlier on so they can get to know, like, and trust you. And then you kind of earn the right to ask for the sale. Okay. So that's the first thing. A level C webinar series could be like a 6-week class, right? It builds on, one class builds on the next. I always like to leave time for Q&A, always. Okay. So like I would probably do 30 minutes of content and 15 minutes for Q&A. And personally, I like to make it interactive. I would say the only caveat would be if you're planning to bundle up the recordings and sell them, then you probably want to save the Q&A all for the end, right? So hopefully that helps. So basically, I would include like a workbook or PDFs with every module, and do it, again, I would recommend you do it live, record everything. And yeah, so hopefully that helps. Pricing can be so tricky. And this is Natalie. For most of us, the primary cost is our time. Oh, yeah, the break even can be a challenge. I probably would not, like, I really want you to make sure your costs are covered. So in terms of break even, I'm not really considering your time. Okay. I'm considering, like, I don't want you to lose money, right? So you need to figure out with as much specificity as you can, like, what is your output in terms of dollars? What is it going to cost to do that? And I've given you a lot of examples of pricing. So it's not like, let me just be really blunt. In the beginning, it is going to cost you some time. Okay. It just does. Launching and creating these programs is a lot of work. Okay. It just is. You're putting your time in upfront typically. So I would go by the recommendations that I've shared on the profit pyramid and in those charts. Okay. All right. Hopefully that helps. Joyce, is this also going to work for someone whose niche is dietitians? Oh, absolutely. Actually, some of the examples that I've shared are dietitians and healthcare providers that have created courses for their colleagues. Okay. So absolutely 100%. In fact, so my client, Diane Rishkoff, she is on the sales page. You can check her out. She took Lucrative Course Blueprint. She said, Leslie's course, Lucrative Course Blueprint, was instrumental in helping me create my own online course. My first launch, I generated $20K in revenue and signed up 38 people into my 3-month course. You receive tons and tons of downloadable resources on every step. I took the course a year ago and I still refer back to the materials consistently. So, and she says, great investment. So that is someone who was targeting other practitioners. So 100%. All right. Alana, would paid ads be more beneficial to jump into ads sooner if your focus is more coursework over one-on-one work? Again, I don't think it matters. I would never try to, I don't think you can't really sell paid products on Facebook ads, generally speaking. I wish it weren't true, but it's really tough to do because people don't know you, right? So the only kind of ads I would do are ads to something free, like your webinar or your freebie, preferably your freebie, so you get them in your funnel early. Okay. So, all right, guys. So are there payment plans for Lucrative Course Blueprint? I just got that question. I just want to remind you the early bird price goes until May 15th. That's Sunday. And if you step in by then, by May 15th, the investment is only $797. Okay. And we have a 3 monthly payment plan of $297. Okay. After that, the price goes up to $1297. Okay. So don't wait. I know you guys want to save money. I always do. So yeah, step in. You're not going to be sorry. I seriously am so confident that you're going to be thrilled. I hope to see you. But anyway, in the meantime, friends, I'm going to see you tomorrow night. So let's look forward to that tomorrow evening, same time, same place. And we're going to have lots of more really good content. Oh, and guys, the homework. So I do want to remind you about the homework. So I really want you to look at that course matrix tool and the pivotal considerations for course design. So I want you to start making some preliminary decisions. Okay. It's not in stone. Okay. None of this stuff is in stone yet, but I want you to start thinking through your decision-making process so that, assuming you're going to join me in Lucrative Course Blueprint, you've already got some preliminary ideas. We can talk through them, make sure that you're on the right track, and then we can start to actually implement and make it happen inside the course. So make some preliminary decisions, review the handouts, and just kind of picture in your mind what you think would work best. Okay. All right, guys, more good stuff tomorrow. Tomorrow, again, is all about deal breakers. Funnel deal breakers, critical must-dos for filling your successful launches. Okay. And I'm going to teach you how to sell your products. So it'll be really good tomorrow. So guys, and if you have colleagues or friends that don't know about this event, please share. More the merrier. I'm on a mission to help as many people as I can. Okay. I want you guys to make money. All right. So, all right, guys, good night. I hope you have a wonderful evening, and I can't wait to see you all tomorrow. Good night for now.